I'm going to call this January 28th school board work session to order. Dr. Argaz.
Good morning, thank you. Just wanted to get some feedback from the board on the budget. We received the calc tool from DOE about 3 weeks ago, or during that week that we were out with the weather. They provided that calc tool to us to be able to use based on the governor's proposed budget. We will probably get two more or something from the Senate and the House when they do theirs as well, so we'll have something to compare. But that'll be probably another week, probably another 2 weeks before we get anything for the House and the Senate. I think crossover is next week, the House and Senate for the General Assembly, so it'll probably be a little bit of time before we get those. I want to just remind you that the proposal does still include a 3% salary increase effective July 1. That's for SOQ funded positions. Just need to, as you know, and as I do each month, we talk about the enrollment number. Just keep in mind that the enrollment number that I shared with you last week was 2135. We had an ADM number that we used from last March of 2170. So that's 35 kids. So we need to keep that in mind. Because the funding overall, I mean, look positive with that we're 35 kids down from where we were this time last year. So just need to keep that in mind.
Is that still around 9,700?
Right about there, yeah. And that's about right. About 9,700.
With the new calculus, 91.
To the extent you guys can, I know sometimes it's ballpark, as we go forward, can you, for the 3%, can we get whichever, I know all these will be different proposals, but with the 3%, to see what the local portion of that would be, the non-funded rates.
We can work on that and try to figure that out. So based on that, I will draft something that has average salary increase of 3% for teacher assistants, bus drivers, secretaries and bookkeepers, teachers, admin, all classifications, and see where that gets us. We'll need to look at if there's positions that we had in the budget that weren't filled that we can remove to help, so we'll do that as well.
One thing before we get into it, I just because I think it will need to be addressed. Mr. Wilson and Mr. Lowe both got me last night at the ball game. There's some floor issues, Mike, if you could look into. Yeah, if just so everybody knows, the floors. I don't know yet whether it was the original when we had the floors redone a few years ago, whether that's the problem or it was folks that came in last year. I'm sorry, I mean, to the extent that there's recovery that can be had from them, we need to do it, and you know, if we need to get this on the schedule, bid it out, because
what are they saying their issues? Because I know what issues I've seen, but I don't know if that's the same thing that the athletic director you're talking about. What I see are just finishes, like terrible finish.
Yeah. So
that's happening down there too.
And I guess Mr. Wilson told me he had talked to somebody with flooring experience and said they would have to take it back down to fix it.
So I've got somebody coming in next Tuesday at 9 o'clock to look at it. The folks that I've talked to, basically, we experienced all that issues with the company we used last year, and basically what I was told by another individual and by the individual that Steve talked to as well, is potentially they put on too many coats of finish, and if you do it within 72 hours, you don't have to abrade it. But we had so much trouble at Giles and Eastern that I bet we have 4 or 5 coats, and they did not abrade it the way they said they were going to do. So what happens is now that finish didn't bond and it's popping up. What I understood about theirs was it's wearing through. It's not popping up, but it's wearing through. Ms. Heldy sent me a message about that. So I got an individual coming to see what the worst case scenario is and make plans from there, because I want to know sooner rather than later what we have to do in case we have to get on somebody's schedule. Right now, I was lucky enough to get on their schedule for June 2nd. They work with me, but if we have to do something else, we'll have to see what we have to do to fix it.
And I open up the board, but to the extent that legal recourse can be taken, I mean, this is against.
Was there any warranty or guarantee with their work?
Don't know that there was, I doubt, I don't,
We got Jim involved last year.
Oh,
there wasn't any payment
Wasn't any
to them,
payment.
so.
Well, this is beyond, this is beyond doing back work. They've actually damaged it to where we got paid to fix it.
I need to talk to Dr. Arias, but one of my thoughts is we reach out to Baycor and see if there's any recourse we can get through insurance. The gentleman I talked to yesterday encouraged me to contact the Board of Contractors, that there is actually a fund that every contractor pays into to remedy things like this. So I need to reach out to them or find a contact or somebody to see if we can get some relief from the Board of Contractors, maybe through Baycor. Mr. Buckland, I agree with you, probably need to reach out to Jim and see what our recourse is at this time. But we did not make payment to the contractor that did it last year, and basically we went through Jim last year for our recourse on that. I'm very disappointed, and but we just need to.
Yeah.
Is it only the two high school gym floors that are the problem right now?
That's the only two that I've heard about right now. I told Mr. Wilson, I was like, even if we can fix, they got 2 weeks left in the season, even if we can fix it, you can't be on it for 10 days. So it's, if we have to take it down to bare wood, that's huge, huge.
It is what it is. If we could just, say that, and if we've got to do something during warmer weather when the gym classes, if they had to be outside, I mean, we can't go a year without, if that's coming up the way it is. So.
It would be this summer. It would be this summer, or if we can work out some schedule, I might be able to get him in there earlier if we have to do something major, because we had a discussion about getting there earlier. So hopefully I'll have more information next Tuesday and see where we go from there. And I think we start the process of at least trying to find out through Baycor, the contracting board, and contacting Jim to see what we will recourse for that.
We'll reach out to them and see what we come up with. We'll need to, I will spend some time with David as well to verify numbers such as the construction money that was in the budget that is not gonna, all at 1.9 million is not gonna still stay there, because we spent some of it. All-in spending will need to be adjusted, because that's not gonna all still be there. So those numbers will be adjusted as well within the budget as we move along. Are there items, things that you all want to make sure that you see in there as well? I mean, we're going to address a lot of the facility issues, the HVAC, the roof, windows, elevators, bleachers, auditoriums at a few high schools, those type of things with renovations coming up, so that a lot of facility stuff's gonna be addressed.
Do we want to, and then Mr. Williams would like to, I don't speak for Mr. Williams, but go through some of these requests that we've got from the individuals. Maybe it's.
We'll do that on the retreat.
But what I think will be good is we have the retreat, they'll make the request again, keeping in mind if they could understand not to repeat, if we're addressing their HVAC and all that, the high schools, those type of things that hey, take that off. Talk about what they really need, and then we could talk about it more either after retreat if we've got time, or we'll set up another work session as part of the budget, because you'll give us the update, kind of where we stand and those things as all part of that. Does that sound good?
Yeah, that sounds good, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, one thing, couple questions I wanted to ask was, have we got the audit back here from last year? I know it takes him a few months to do it, but have we got our audit back from our audit?
No, we're still in the process. There was delayed. It was supposed to be done in October, but it's been delayed, not because of us.
Well, I mean, my way of looking at it, I think that, and we need to know how much money we've got to work with for these requests. And how many dollars we will have that we could spend on some of these projects. It's important to me up front knowing.
I think that's fair, so I think, Dr. Arbas, when you're preparing your part of it, just kind of what we got. Did anybody else have any other thoughts?
Just offhand, and maybe, obviously we'll deep dive into this during the retreat with the individual schools, but how are the STEM labs? Are they up, running, fully stocked with all their things? I know at one point at the beginning of the year, I think Macy was still waiting on some items. Are they good?
I would say I don't know that they're all put together.
Right.
But they've got items within there, and I think we had to move some of those items.
Yeah.
Particularly Macy, to finish some of the work in that classroom, but I don't know that it's 100% set up, ready to go.
Okay.
I think there's still work to be done to get it ready to use the classroom.
Awesome.
Work in progress.
And we can work through it, and we can give you something, just preliminary to look at, once after the 13th. And I'll probably be to you before then, but that way you can look at it, and we can have a good discussion on the 20th. Yeah. And I think STEM labs that we talked about, with under Ms. Mustaines, Ms. Tibbs, and Ms. Woods and all that, they'll have conversations part of their.
Wow.
I'm super excited about it.
So I think that'll be a part of, along with the Virginia Literacy Act and some data that, Claire's going to be certain conflicts. Anything else?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, another issue that I think we really need, in my opinion, we need to address is fixing. You know, last year I brought up the ADA, meeting ADA standards at Giles High School. We've got the same problem in ours. There's been complaints made, there was complaint to Ours Town Council about the football field in Ours High, the football field annex. Handicap situation, same situation. Where's the handicap parking at Ours Elementary for the football field?
My understanding is football field for handicap, or got a disability issue or access issue, they park along the scoreboard fence area.
Well, I know on the visitor side, but on the home side, where's the handicap? I mean, I went down and looked, I couldn't find it. Home park,
I don't think there's no place they could put it on the home, they have to come over to the business.
No, I think it is. It's room.
Probably cafeteria.
I think it's designated around the cafeteria, I think there's a sign there, if I could be wrong, but I
You
think
mean
there's a
like
sign
parking?
on
The signs are faded, okay, but even this person, they've had a complaint, person said they actually live in Parisburg, the grandkids play, not go to school in ours. This fall, one of the football games, you have to park down beside the annex on the road down. That's where the handicap parking sign is.
Oh, you're talking about parking, not like to watch a game.
Yeah, to watch a game. No, I'm talking about, he come down to watch a game.
So he parks and then he wants to get out and sit on the, like, in the stands.
Yeah, in the back up or on the other side, but you got to park down on the road, all the way down the road, and you got to push a wheelchair 500 feet up the hill and get in the building. But anyway, it would rain, and it was just a bad situation. But we need to meet our ADA standards, in my opinion, where it takes, both places.
Well, I think what they're saying is that we've got handicap access there at the high school, but I think that's something to look at, that NARS needs to look at because you've got that street parking right there. You've got several spots that are closer to exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, we're supposed to divide these places as close to where they're going, the facilities, as you can.
Yeah.
And we can survive closer to that. It's room up there behind, there's 2, 3, he said there's always somebody parked in there, and he hadn't seen them handicap tag.
I think there's, just looking at it, I think there's 2 or 3 things we can do to address it. You know, one, just make sure we can, if we get more parking out there regularly or have a spot or 2, but number 2, for events like graduation, events like football or soccer games, to see if the high school can reserve some spots that aren't normally designated as handicap spots in that upper area. Number 2, and part of that may need to be working with the town, because that area that looks like a parking lot is a town street, so I think we'll need to work with them, and that's good that they're there, that we can, something we can do to address the issue, Dr. Brown.
Yes.
I just, we need, whatever it costs, we need to do it.
I don't think it's gonna, I think it's just being cognizant of the issue.
And, one of the things they paid that, was it last year? I think the town mayors paid that street, and they might have paved over our designated parking areas that we might look at. I can call Terry Nicholson and talk to him about that, but new signage or whatever.
But I think there's room there, there's a couple spots there behind the cafeteria, but the sign is faded, you can't tell what it says anymore.
We can get.
But there's room up there on the hill to make 2 or 3 spots for people.
We'll work to get new signs and that.
We can add signs.
Yeah, and before we spend any money on that, I would rather us make sure that we're spending money on things that matter to the kids more than addressing parking issues for sporting events.
Well, I understand, I'm not addressing parking, I'm addressing our handicapped individuals. And
For
it's
sure,
right
that
now.
are attending our events, 100%, I agree, 100%. We've talked about it at both schools.
No, we need to know what the cost will, that's why we are putting in the budget, and if we spend any major money, we ought to be in the budget, but let's do it right when we do it.
That kind of leads us off to another direction too. At Giles, Mr. Williams and I talked about Giles. Of course, we tried to put some gravel down at the softball field and things like that for that. In discussions with Mr. McCarney and the county to try to get some paving done, economy of scale. That's one of the things I need direction from the board on. Do we actually want to pave that up there? Do we want to pave it from the track around up to the parking lot, or do we want to leave it gravel? I think now, if we're going to do the paving, now is the time to do it, or not do it. I don't want to let an opportunity go by, and the board recognize we let an opportunity go by, so I want to have some discussion on that at some point.
Well, it's all about the money, I mean, whatever things will cost, I just want us to meet our ADA standards.
Yes, sir.
That's what I would take to get it done, and we need to have an idea how many dollars that's gonna take.
I think, in discussion with Mr. McCarney, I think they're gonna try to put a bid out around March, April. I just need to know that if you wanna include that in the bid proposal with the county or not. I've got Bob working on some things for that right now, so I just need some direction if you wanna include that part.
I think we need to get everything that we can included in that, so we can get a cost and then work backwards from there.
It's all about the money, if you got money to do stuff.
I think we can do it as ad alternates. We can bid it out or include in the bid package per school. I know we need paving at Nares Elementary, the teacher parking lots. We need some paving at the tech center, back at the tech center. I talked to Bobby Fisher, especially behind the tech center. Bobby and I are gonna get together and kind of drill down and get into the weeds, so to speak, of the other schools and their needs. I know he does a pretty good job every summer of taking care of some of our paving. My biggest concern is if we have to cap a parking lot, that's gonna be $1.5 million just to cap a whole school, potentially. I don't know exactly what that is, but we are starting to look at that. And I can direct Bob to do the high school and have that as an ad alternate, if you are okay with that.
We get a program, get the right program, yeah, when we do it or not, just at least know what we're up against.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
My opinion, we're looking at it, we got money to do it all we can. Improve everybody's situation.
Other items?
if anything does comes to mind, let Dr. Arbogast us know from the standpoint of just so they can be addressed going into the budget, so this is the time to get that fully discussed.
We'll keep those in mind as we develop, work on this and develop it over the next couple of weeks. Gave you just wanted you to be aware, there's a proclamation for the New River Valley Public School, from the New River Valley Public School Divisions for a New River Reset Education Therapeutic Day Treatment School. Really all that's doing is saying that we support the concept, but I would just want you to know about it before I put my signature on it. So if you have any concerns, please let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to sign off on it, send it back to them so they can start talking to the general assembly members just to see if there's any support for it.
I was just looking at that, what, does Montgomery County, because they've got local tax base and other things, are they able to provide other services that we can't? I was just looking at their share of the largest school division, but they're comparable to us as far as.
I'm not sure why they don't, if it's where it is for them, I don't know, I don't know for them. I would have thought theirs would have been higher as well.
It's just curious, because I think everybody else is kind of looks proportional. I mean, Bradford looks a little lower compared to us.
Yeah.
But, you know, Montgomery County's the outlier. I'm just curious.
So I'll sign off and then get that back to them, that way they can start getting that out. Just a couple other information items for you. One, you probably remember the youth, I remember YRBS Youth Risk Behavior Survey that used to be conducted within the school division. We're going to conduct, they changed the title of it, Youth Mental Health and Resiliency Survey, 7th, 9th, and 11th grade students. Still will be with New River Valley Community Services and United Way. It used to be United Way, now it's EO. That's the other way of asking to hold off for a little bit, please. Who used to be EO, so we're going to do that the last week of February. That school, 7th, 9th, and 11th graders, schools will send out parent opt-out letters so the parents have the opportunity, guardians have the opportunity to opt out, anybody that wants to be opt-out. So just wanted you to know that. And just so you know, yesterday you may have seen, we sent out on Facebook and sent to other schools, and Mike's communicated to the county to see if we can go on garbage bills and that sort of stuff. The Summer Food Program survey was sent out yesterday. It's on Facebook, trying to gather data to see where students are going to be, that sort of stuff, so we can plot it on a map and kind of get an idea where drop-offs could be for summer food and that sort of thing. So just want to make sure we cover those two things as well. Unless y'all have something else, I don't, that's based on the agenda today.
The other item that we had was the superintendent search. I've been in contact with the SBA. Gina Patterson, executive director, is the one that's over superintendent search. She sent the packet I sent to you guys with cost, with just kind of an overview of it. I did reach out to some other board chairs that had gone through it that were listed on that material. The couple I talked to were very complimentary of the service. That they did a good job, especially on reference checks. One of them commented that the superintendent they ended up hiring wasn't even on their radar from the standpoint of the applicant pool, and they recommended, and I think they ended up being very happy with that. So we need to do two things today. One, we need to, if that's the route we'd like to go, which that would be my opinion, to go ahead and do that. We need to approve that, and then we would need to set a date for the initial meeting, which would take about an hour and a half. They're coming from Charlottesville, so they're likely to do it about 11 o'clock in the morning. But that initial meeting would be an open meeting. Ms. Tickle would need to be there. They've asked the clerk to be there for that, but it'd be an open meeting to discuss the process, what's going on. just how that would go. Yeah, because there would be stakeholder surveys and we have input into the questions that are asked there and those type of things. So, I would open it up for a motion and a discussion to go with them if that's the route.
Well, I make a motion that we utilize their services.
Okay. Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. All right, the first available date that they have is, February 5th.
I'm supposed to be sending your digging right up that week. If they have it, I gotta call Sunday night to make sure I'm still gonna get it.
Yeah, I'm unavailable.
And I brought my reading glasses today.
I had some extra reading glasses, do you?
I'm okay. The next one would be February 11th. Is that good? Can you do that, Mr. Williams?
Yes, sir, I mean, no, anytime.
Is that going to conflict with?
I didn't know if it was just you guys session
Yeah,
or work session, or I was.
It's open.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it'll be an open meeting. Get more information in.
I don't see anything on the calendar.
There's nothing on the calendar. Yeah, so we'll set that, I will go back February 11th at 11. Other than the calendar, any further business that anyone wants to address?
Before I forget, did have something else to let you know, is I think I shared with you before, we did hear back on at the alternate number 1 for Narrows High School. It was lower from $250,000 to $200,000, so need to make sure you all do that, so we can get that moving forward.
Mr. Chairman, I do have a executive session I'd like to discuss tomorrow, personnel.
Okay.
You allow?
Yes, if someone make a motion for that,
So,
I got a second. Second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye.